The Broncos were back on the practice field to prepare for a short week in their game against the Kansas City Chiefs coming up on Christmas night, and there's so much to get you caught up on, but we got to start with the unfortunate part. Let's just hit the injuries right away, because Broncos had a couple of key players that did not practice today that were also listed as did not practice on the estimated injury report yesterday, and those are Dre Greenlaw, Pat Bryant, Luke Wattenberg, and Nate Adkins, and it does not appear that those guys are trending in the right direction to play for the Broncos on Thursday. I know for a fact that Dre Greenlaw will be out for this week, likely going to miss many weeks with the hamstring injury that he suffered at the end of the Packers game, and Pat Bryant dealing with the concussion. He will also not play. That will become official on Wednesday, so two big pieces for the Broncos. And then, of course, you're talking about Luke Wattenberg, the center. Broncos have Alex Forsythe, who's a very good backup, who's going to play his first game of the season this year. Wattenberg obviously coming off a massive extension with the Broncos, so they think a lot of him. So that's going to be interesting to follow, see how the dynamic between he and the offensive line and he and Bo work against this good Kansas City Chiefs front. Also, one other really unfortunate piece of injury news. DTY, Delarrin Turner-Yell, was placed on the practice squad injured list today. That ends his season. He suffered a knee injury in his first game coming back from a previous ACL injury that he had. So really, really unfortunate news for him. Sending all the vibes out his way. But there was good news to kick off the day. And before we get to that, there was one piece of good news on the injury front as well. Justin Strnad was able to play or practice today. It does look like he's going to be able to play on Thursday. Not only is it good to have a player like him back, but it's great news because of Dre Greenlaw being out. So expect Alex Singleton and Justin Strnad to be back there at the inside linebacker position. And the great news that kicked off the day was Pro Bowls were announced, and the Broncos had the most Pro Bowlers in the NFL, tied with the Ravens, Seahawks, and one other team that I can't remember, Ravens, Seahawks, and 49ers as the teams with the most Pro Bowlers. The Broncos had 6 Pro Bowlers on the original ballot, so not alternates. That is also the most the Broncos have had since 2014. Not even the Super Bowl 50 team had this many original ballot Pro Bowlers. Really, really cool. And those guys are Garett Bolles, Courtland Sutton, Quinn Meinerz on the offensive side. Then on the defensive side, you got Pat Surtain, Nik Bonitto, and Zach Allen. A couple of firsts for some of these guys. Really cool for Garett Bolles to make his first Pro Bowl. And then on the other side, you have Pat Surtain, who has made his 4th Pro Bowl in his first 5 seasons in the NFL. That makes him one of 3 players in Broncos history to accomplish that. He joins Von Miller and Steve Atwater. We're talking about Hall of Fame company for Pat Surtain, and he has one more than his dad now. He said he's going to have that as bragging rights for now the rest of his life, because that Pro Bowl is never going to be taken away from him. Broncos also had 7 alternates, including Bo Nix, Talanoa Hufanga, Devin Key, and Alex Singleton among the alternates that the Broncos had. So 13 players in total got some sort of Pro Bowl recognition. The Broncos hope they aren't playing in the Pro Bowl, because that would mean that they are in the Super Bowl. So really cool day for the Broncos. Just a couple of years ago, they had 1 Pro Bowler. Now they're up to 6 that made the team, 4 starters and 13 that get accolades. That is very, very cool. It shows you how much the team is coming. It's very deserving because they are 12-3, the best record in the NFL. And one of the cool things about this Pro Bowl, Sean Payton calls all of these guys to give them the news that they've made the Pro Bowl, and it's such a cool phone call for them. Sean also calls the guys that he thought should have made the Pro Bowl that didn't. One of those guys, Talanoa Hufanga, who Sean said he's had a fantastic season, played tremendous this year. He thinks he should have gotten the Pro Bowl. I do as well. And Pat Surtain said he was a big-time snub. That seems to be the one really floating around here that should have got that true Pro Bowl, not just the alternate recognition. And Courtland Sutton, what was he doing when he got the call from Sean? He was sleeping. He slept through the call from Sean because yesterday was the players' day off, so he was taking a little nap. Then he called Sean back. Sean was in a meeting. Then once they finally got a hold of each other, Court said that was a great phone call, and even better because it was coming off a good nap. So congratulations to all of the Broncos Pro Bowlers. Really, really cool day for them. And while at practice, a big focus is on takeaways for this Broncos defense. This defense is great. They lead the NFL in sacks. They might break the NFL record in sacks, yet somehow they're not really able to take the ball away. And that is a clear emphasis from Sean Payton and Vance Joseph. And a big thing that Vance Joseph said that's going to be key for this pass rush to get more takeaways, they teach from day one to hit the quarterback's elbow when you sack him. Go after the arm, because just imagine if someone hits you, that's going to force a fumble more than hitting them somewhere else. So that's the focus, and Vance just says we have to do a better job. We have to get the ball. Said it's not a luck thing. It's a skill thing. It's about doing it. So that's going to be a big emphasis, and I'll tell you what, man, this Thursday night against the Kansas City Chiefs playing their third string backup, this is a time when the turnovers and takeaways can start flowing for the Denver Broncos. On the other side of the ball, Ben Powers played his first game after suffering the injury that he had. Him and Alex Balchevsky split reps at that guard position, and that is going to continue. Sean Payton said that both of those guys are going to continue to split reps this coming week. Joe Lombardi said that Ben Powers played pretty well in his debut, and Palcho played well. So going to see a continued rotation there on the offensive side at guard. And speaking of the offense, Bo Nix really opened up just about how much he's seeing the field better right now. He said a year ago he was seeing the field drastically different than what he is right now, and he had some interesting insight. He said this past half of the season this year, he has been able to see the field so much better, and that Sean Payton is opening up the offense more, allowing him to throw deep more. And he said right now, I'm seeing the field so well and feels comfortable with it. Man, can you see that just on tape and with the way Bo Nix is playing right now? I mean, just a couple weeks ago had 4 touchdowns. Last week had a career-high 352 passing yards. He is seeing the field well, and this is the perfect time for Bo to be feeling very comfortable as the playoffs are approaching. And the Broncos know how important these next 2 weeks are. Of course, if they win on Thursday and the Chargers lose on Saturday to the Texans, the Broncos clinch the AFC West. That would be accomplishing their first goal of the season. Then if the Broncos win on Thursday, no matter what the Chargers do this weekend, if the Broncos win on Week 18 against the Chargers, they not only wrap up the AFC West under their own control, but they also will clinch the number 1 seed. And I'll tell you what, this building knows how important that is. This building knows just how much they need to do that. So they are not overlooking this depleted Kansas City Chiefs team. They are not looking ahead to the playoffs. They are very, very focused on accomplishing the regular season and finishing what they started. And look, it would be a disappointment if this team starts 12-2 and then they don't get the number 1 seed, so they know how much they want that. In fact, Quinn said that was the goal to start the season. He said these games are extremely important to win because we want to get that 1 seed. Everything is at stake here, and I can't tell you how many players and coaches were talking about that inside the Broncos building today, just how much they want to get that 1 seed. And this Kansas City Chiefs team, the last thing I've got for you, and before we get to it, hit us with a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, give us that like. It helps us a lot. We appreciate your support. The final thing, this Kansas City Chiefs team is playing without Patrick Mahomes. The Broncos have never seen a Kansas City Chiefs team play a semi-meaningful game without Mahomes. Last season, he sat in Week 18 because it wasn't a meaningful game for the Chiefs. They already had the 1 seed wrapped up. Pat Surtain said it's so weird preparing for a Chiefs team without Patrick Mahomes. That means that they are going to their 3rd string quarterback because Gardner Minshew is out now. The Broncos did play against this 3rd string quarterback, Chris Oladokun, last year in the Week 18 game that wasn't meaningful. He threw 0 passes and had 1 sack. So the Broncos hope that that continues this week. He is more of a mobile quarterback, so they're aware of that. But this Broncos defense is going to be prepared for that. This is a game that the Broncos defense should be get back on the ship and right the ship right now because they give up 34 points. That is a season high this past week. They need to do better in the red zone. They allowed Green Bay to score, or they allowed the Jacksonville Jaguars to score 4 touchdowns in their 5 red zone trips. Those things need to improve. And I asked Sean, does he spend more time with Vance helping this defense get better after this past week? And he said, look, it wasn't just Vance. It wasn't just this defense. It was every single phase. There was a missed field goal. The offense struggled at times, had 2 turnovers, and then the defense gave up 34 points. So the Broncos, I would not want to be the Kansas City Chiefs right now because the Broncos are looking to secure the AFC West. They're looking to secure the number 1 seed in the AFC. And also, they're looking to sweep the Kansas City Chiefs in a season for the first time since 2014. We'll see if they get that done. Thank you for tuning in. Follow here for all the updates. I'm going to be in Kansas City for that Thursday night game on Christmas. Make sure you stay tuned to this channel. Hit us with a thumbs up and subscribe.